Hello, everyone. It's been a while since you've seen me in this set. Been a while since I've been in this set. That's the reason for that is because we have no more Daybreak stories to do. As I mentioned at the end of season 5 of Daybreak, um, Daybreak stories is not something that is guaranteed to happen all the time. Daybreak stories is something that happens when there's a story to tell. And the point of having Daybreak stories is sort of like bridge the gap between Daybreak of one year and Daybreak of the next year. And so the point of the past Daybreak stories was to bridge the gap between Daybreak 2020 and Daybreak 2021. Now the difference, of course, being Daybreak 2020 was a whole different setup for how Daybreak's going to function in 2021, because Daybreak 2020 wasn't a thing. It was just called, well, there was Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, and Season 5. The entirety of 2021 will be one season, and that'll be happening for the 3 months of summer. June, July, and August. There might be some in September. But it's not, that's why it's called Daybreak 2021. It's not going to be multiple seasons spread over the course of the summer. It's going to be one whole season. So I wanted to give a bit of an update as to what's happening, because you haven't heard from me in a while. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do that. So regarding where Daybreak stands, if you follow me on Facebook, then you might have saw a post that I put up there with like the state of Daybreak. So there are a few changes coming to Daybreak. Now, nothing with the set. The set's staying the same, keeping the logo, the my favorite part of the entire set, the lights, and we'll be keeping the same style and everything, but and I'll be still wearing a suit, without a tie, because ties do strangle me. But what will be changing is the timing. So it's still 45 minutes long, still 2 guests, still a 5-minute game. But instead of it happening at 10 a.m., it'll be happening at 5 p.m. Maybe. That's still, again, as I mentioned in the last update video, it's still under what's going to happen. It's likely to happen at 5 p.m. It's the summer. And it's COVID season still. Maybe during the summer won't be. But we really shouldn't be going anywhere on vacation during COVID season, so everyone will probably be home already, so there won't be any scheduling issues over the summer. There's no schoolwork, unless you're in AP, or you might have for honors maybe, but that's towards the end of the school year, or summer reading for English. But that's not going to prohibit you from doing just a 45-minute, or actually a 20-minute segment, maybe 25-minute segment if you're doing the game. So it'll be happening at 5 instead of 10, because 10 is just too early. I go to bed really late, and waking up at 10 a.m. is just ugh. So at 5, I'm definitely awake by 5. So we'll be probably doing it at 5. Later than that, it gets too close to nighttime, and I do calls with my friends after then. So probably be happening at 5. But it's not set in stone yet. But that's the only major change with Daybreak there is, besides the whole season structure. So the first day of the season will be June. When is school over? June 20th, about there. So the first Sunday after the first week of break. If that makes sense. You have school ends, you have 1 week of break, and then Daybreak begins the next week on Sunday. And it'll run all the way until the Sunday before school, which I think school starts September 5th. I don't know when that is or what day that is. So the Sunday before September 5th, if that's the day school starts, will be the last day of Daybreak 2021. And there'll be no season breaks. So it'll be Daybreak 2021, not Daybreak Season 6, Season 7, Season 8. It's just one season. I haven't asked anyone yet, but I am organizing my guest list here. I am writing down who I want to have on the show, and I did post this on Facebook, and it's on my phone. Apology for the looking down at the screen. I haven't memorized my list, but I have been looking at a number of people. So if you are watching this and you're from Norwell, then you should know a few of these people. So we have Layla Kilhorn. She's a 10th grade high school student. Aiden Kane, 10th grade high school student. He is an amazing drummer. I'm a mediocre drummer, so hopefully we can have an interesting conversation. A girl named Peyton, I'm in a band with her. I don't know if she's actually in school. If she's in school, then she's probably a senior. I'm not sure, though. I'd have to ask. So, I'm thinking of someone from Ireland. So, we might, for the first time in 2021, become an international show. So, that'd be interesting. We have Alison Toper. She's one of my friends, and she has a job. I'd be having her to talk about the job, what it's like to be with school. Now, I've asked her before, and she has said no, which is fine. It's fine to say no. But I'll try one more time, because I would really like to have someone who has a job, because I want to that'd be an interesting conversation. And if not her, I can find someone else who has a job. I have more connections with her, because she's my friend. And then Will Beharian. I think Will, who is 11th grade, actually, he is a junior. I think someone offered for him to come on the show. It wasn't him, but someone said you should have him on. And I didn't know him that well. I don't know him that well now, but I'm like, it's not always about the connection. It's about the show. So regardless of whether I know them or not, they want to come on the show. That's what the show's for. Now, I would like some repeat guests. Some repeat guests might be, of course, I don't know yet, Alexander Duvall, the author. Now, I put this down because she was a really good guest. She did a 45-minute long segment. She did the game in 40 minutes of an interview. So that's the first time that's ever happened on purpose. You can watch a Daybreak story to see when that hasn't happened on purpose. That happened with Riley Kravinger, accidentally. But with this, she was on for 45-minute long. I don't know if she'll be on. I asked her a lot of questions off the bat. So I might just ask her about what she's actually writing this time, which was like, the last time I had her on, it was like probably 60-40, what being an author is like, and then about the book. So I might focus probably 90% on the book and 10% on maybe questions I didn't get to last time. But I might I don't know if I'll have her talk about the same book. Maybe if she writes another book, or she has an old book she wants to speak about. But again, it's not set in stone. Maeve Ross. Maeve Ross is when this happens. I mean, right now they're in 10th grade. Next year, and Will Beharian's right now in 11th grade, so next year he'll be in 12th grade. And Maeve Ross is currently in my grade, 10th grade, but she might move up. Well, she will move up to 11th grade over the summer. So have Maeve Ross on. Then we have Faith Gagnon. We'll talk about music. We'll talk about sports. She used to do lacrosse, but she does softball. And so yeah, TJ Bonica, one of probably my favorite guest of all time to have on Daybreak. Well, no. He's probably tied with Riley Kravinger. Riley Kravinger and TJ Bonica are my favorite guests of all time. They're very interesting people. They have a lot of things to talk about, and they always give really good answers to my questions, which is why I have them on. So if you're wondering why, like almost every single season of Daybreak, Riley Kravinger's on there, it's because she is a fantastic guest with a lot of different things to talk about. And TJ Bonica, I've only had on twice, but every single time he's been on has been absolutely phenomenal, so I want to get him back because it was just amazing. And then Bianca Anderson. She was a really good guest. The first time we spoke, the connection was absolutely terrible. That episode was like half the time because I had to cut. That's the first time I actually really edited an episode by cutting things out, because I don't like cutting things out because I want it to be authentic, but I don't want to have the viewer just watching just like people's faces freezing on screen. Like, that's not why you watch the show. You watch the show to hear the conversation. So I cut out all of the breaks and everything. We had to log off a number of times to get the connection right. I think we had to log off the call 3 times, and it still wasn't great. So it was like probably in total 15 minutes of actual, or maybe 10 to 15 minutes of actual good entertainment. So I want to get her back on so we can fix that. She came on again afterwards and to talk about something else, but I might want to revisit the topic we talked about the first time, since it really didn't see the light of day. So that's the changes to the guest lineup. Now, I said that the only changes to Daybreak were the seasons and the timing. And to the Daybreak as a whole, yes, those are the only changes that you are going to notice, because you will be watching it at a different time. And you won't, I'm going to label it, but like we're going to start a new program on Daybreak. So we have a number of sub-series and everything. So we have Daybreak, then we have Daybreak Stories, and then we have Daybreak, this is all new, we have Daybreak Studio Time, and then Daybreak the host interviews. And this is all on the website. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, go to one of the YouTube videos. I pretty much always link the website to a Daybreak Stories episode. So go to Daybreak Stories episode, go find the website for Daybreak. I don't know off the top of my head. It's a Google site, and I can't remember what's after the slash. I worked really hard on the website, so please go check the website for any information or any questions you might have. And also, you can send me a question through the website, and I always do check those. So please send me a question if you have one. We've been offered by a studio to record Daybreak, which is just it blows my mind that a studio has offered to have us meaning Daybreak, film episodes in their studio for no money. Like, it's free, which is just amazing. My facial expressions in my hands. But we will record Daybreak. One reason I started Daybreak was because it's so unauthentic. The big talk shows are unauthentic, meaning they practice beforehand. They might not know the questions, but like they understand how it works and everything, and they're not going to ask them anything that they don't really know what's coming. And so you don't get authentic answers, really. You get sort of like pre-rehearsed answers without them being too pre-rehearsed. And with Daybreak, I'm like, no. They're not going to know anything. They're going to know the topic, and that's it. So everything you're seeing is an authentic reaction, authentic laugh. When I watch Jimmy Fallon, I do like Jimmy Fallon, but I don't find his laughing authentic because he laughs at everything. And that can be good for the guests, but it's not authentic. It's just like, oh, everything is saying funny, even if it's not funny, it can be really annoying. So I'm trying to be as authentic as possible in Daybreak. And so moving to a studio, some might say, will get rid of the authenticity. And so here's the compromise. We will not be filming every episode of Daybreak in the Bossy studio. We'll be filming some of them there. And those episodes will be featuring people from this area who are comfortable being in a studio. So Faith Gagnon wants to be in a studio episode. She lives in Weymouth. The studio is in Weymouth. But I'm not going to have Grace Maroney, who lives in Sherborne, drive an hour and a half to get here to go to a studio. Or Riley Krovinger. Or even someone from Norwell who doesn't want to be in the studio. They're not going to have to go to the studio. It's only going to be for very specific occasions, which is why the sub-series of Daybreak called Studio Time is its own sub-series, because not every episode is going to be there. So the thing that we're changing with Studio Time is, of course, the production quality will be so much better. I'm using an iPad. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called, but I know it's an iPad. And I'm just using Instagram for everything. The camera's not phenomenal. The app isn't phenomenal. It glitches sometimes. I have to edit because, like, the voice comes... Like, the voice doesn't match from where my mouth's moving, so I have to change how it works. But it's more authentic than a studio. But the thing with the studio is that there's thousands of dollars worth of equipment, of mixing equipment, of cameras, of lighting, of just mics and everything. Like, everything is really high-end, good quality, not an iPad-equipped thing. So the video quality and the video production quality will be so much better. So we'll lose a bit of authenticity with that. But again, I'm not going to give the guests the questions. I'm not going to tell them anything ahead of time. We're not rehearsing anything. So that's the main point. But I'm very much looking forward to getting into a studio to record Daybreak. That'll be really nice. This will not be there. This is, for those who don't know, this is a sheet. Here. Like, this is a sheet that I have on a wall in a room in my house. And I usually have a stool. I'm standing right now. I prefer standing to sitting, but a room in my house. And this is actually backwards. The camera reverses it, so this is actually backwards. So, like, I'm moving my left hand. And it's right now the D is facing that way. To you, that's the right way. But when I look at it this way, it's backwards. I want to read Caerduad. I read this way, but you're reading this way because the camera flips it, so it's backwards. But when we're in Bossy, this won't be coming. One, because the paint, funny enough, bled through the sheet onto the wall behind this. So, yeah. And also, it'll be such of a pain to take this down every single time I'm going to go to the studio, because it's like the ceiling is made out of these tiles things, and you can move like think of a school, and then you got the tiles that you can take off and everything if there's a leak. It's basically square versions of that, and it's tucked inside the, I don't know what they're called, inside the panels, and the panels are pushing down on the blanket carpet thing sheet and keeping it there, and there's tape on the other side so that actually this doesn't happen. The tape failed me today. This is supposed to be flat, but it's sort of wrinkled right now. But in the studio there'll probably be a black background or maybe a green screen, which would be kind of interesting, but we're not going to have this. And so if you have any questions about Daybreak stories, Daybreak the host interviews, Daybreak studio time, or just Daybreak in general, please go look at the website. It's many hours of work, and I think it looks really nice. So please go take a look at it. Even if you don't want to do anything, just take a look at it. I mean, I think it's a cool website. But I'll link it in the description of this update video, which will be fairly long, so I apologize for that. But yeah, apologies for the sound. But because we're not in the studio, this is authentic. The downsides of not being in the studio, you don't have the silence. But we're not going to edit the videos in the studio. We're going to leave them as is, because again, it's supposed to be like you see everything that I see. I don't want you to see only the good takes. There's no takes. It's one run through. We're not going to edit anything. If someone says something that they really don't want said, we might cut it out. But I'm not cutting out anything I'm saying. I don't usually say anything that's too offensive. I don't think I've ever said anything that's offensive. But I'm not going to cut anything I've said, because that's the point. But yeah, so again, Daybreak will be beginning the week after the first week of vacation. For those who are in school, for those who aren't in school, June, probably towards the end of the month of June, or the very beginning, July. It'd actually be cool to start on July 4th. That'd be a cool time to start. We had an episode on July 4th. I wore an American flag pin because the cameras were first faced backwards. It didn't make any sense. But, yeah. But it'd be cool being it done on July. If there's a Sunday on July 4th, I might just abandon everything before that just to go to July 4th. It'd be a cool time to start, but it's just fun. I almost had actually an episode on my birthday. My birthday was a Monday in 2020. My birthday's August 10th. And there's an episode August 9th. And I'm like, no, I was so excited. I had something planned for the ending of that episode. Like, as I was signing off, I'm like, thank you for watching. See you next time on Daybreak. And now I'm going to go to a party. And I just leave and turn off the camera. I don't know. It's just funny. But I didn't get to do it because my birthday was the next day. Sad. But, that's going to remain. I'm keeping this in the video. So yeah, but everything will remain the same. Actually, one more thing will be changing. The theme song. So the theme song we have now, it's great. It tells the names of the guests and the game we're playing, and that's pretty much it. What I want to do is I want to include clips of guests on, not like with sound, but like over the music, like the music's playing over like small clips of guests. Like I did, like in the season 4 trailer for Daybreak, there's music, and for probably half the video, it's just guest segments, like 3 seconds each. And you get to see me with like Riley Kravinger, TJ Bonica, Grace Maroney, Bianca Anderson, Abby Keefe, all these different people. And you get to just over music, but it like it makes it seem like, well, there was, but it makes it seem like there was past episodes and people are enjoying it, and there's sometimes laughs in there or something. So I want to include that in the next intro to a video, well, in the next intro to the season videos. I will be working on that when we get closer to the beginning. And the final thing that'll be different, and I'll probably end this video after this. It's probably a very long video by now. I don't know how long I've been standing here, but probably around 15 minutes. But will be how I title the video. So I also post this on Facebook if you want to look at that. When it's studio time, it'll be like the episode. If it's a Daybreak episode, it'll probably be like season. I might not do season though. I might just do, like, this is me thinking out loud. I might just do Daybreak 2021, episode 1, or I might do season 6, episode 1, because it's the same thing. But let's just, for sake of me remembering how I wrote it on Facebook, let's just go with season. So season 6, episode 1, parentheses, if it's in the studio, ST for studio time. If it's not, I don't remember what I said for that. I'm going to look it up now on my phone. Again, apologize for me looking down at my screen, but I want to be accurate. Yeah, so it'll be the, like, season 6, episode 5. Here it is. This episode 5. Oh yeah, NA for not altered. So it's abbreviated. So these are the examples I gave. Season 6, episode 4. ST, and then I'll go with the how I named, sorry about that. Towards the end of season 6, I tried doing clever titles for the episodes, and I'm gonna continue that into season 6. Sorry, I meant season 5 before. So they'll come after ST. But if it's here in the Daybreak studio at my house, it'll just be season 6, episode 4, NA, and then the video title. And then same thing for Daybreak Stories 2021. That'll come after the Daybreak season, just to give stories of what happened during 2021. It'll be like Daybreak Stories episode 4, the name of the Daybreak story, and then ST or NA, depending on where I film it. I'm working with the studio production manager to do a Daybreak Stories with him in the studio. So we'll see where that goes. But that might not happen until 2021. I might, it's probably better because it hasn't happened yet. I've been offered the studio, I've agreed to the studio, but I haven't filmed in the studio yet, so it might be better to hold off on doing that Daybreak Stories until 2021. Well, it is 2021, but the 2021 Daybreak Stories season, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so that's all the updates I have for you. It's pretty a long episode, but it's a pretty complicated system we have here. I'd like to just thank the team at Daybreak here. Thank you, Riley Kravinger, who's the chairman of the board of ideas here at Daybreak, and Grace Maroney, who's on the board of ideas and contributes a lot. They both contribute a lot. I think Riley Kravinger has contributed the most in that I rehearse with her just like new things we're doing. She comes up with really good games. She was the one who did Would You Rather and did a lot of helping with the thing. And she was a great guest. Grace suggested a number of aesthetical changes. And yeah, so my title is CEO, founder, I don't know, host. That's my title. And the reason why I have titles is not to pull rank, but to have that sort of group thing here. I'm on the board of ideas. I'm not the chairman. Riley's the chairperson, I should say. Riley's the chairwoman. So yeah, big thanks to her. She's been an incredible help to Daybreak. Just so many great suggestions and implementations. It's been absolutely amazing. If for some strange reason, or if I just decide, you know what, it's not worth it. If Daybreak 20, my hair up here is bothering me. If Daybreak 2020, really bothering me. If Daybreak, I'm looking at the camera and it's just like a loop. Oh my God, it's made it worse. If Daybreak, I'm not going to touch it. If Daybreak 2021 for some reason does not occur, then this might be the last video on the YouTube channel. And if that's the case, I haven't memorized all of our guests. I know almost all of them, but if I probably recited them all, I miss a few. But I'll name just a few really, really good ones. So probably my favorite guest list here. Big thank you to Natalie Lacey. Natalie Lacey was a fantastic guest in season 3. 4? No, 3. Season 3, episode 1. She was the first video on the YouTube channel with Sterling Williams. But big thank you to Natalie Lacey. Big, enormous thank you to TJ Bonica, amazing guest, Bianca Anderson as well, Abby Keefe, Riley Krovinger, Grace Maroney, Owen Sadowski, my brother. All of these, there's more, but I could go on for probably an hour listing people. It just all around, everyone who's ever come on the show has been absolutely phenomenal. I've not regretted a single thing. I mean, I remember when the iPad died in the middle of an episode, it was kind of embarrassing, or when a guest didn't show up, it was sort of like, but we always pulled through it, and the stories that came from these complications have always been really fun to tell through Daybreak Stories. So yes, enormous thank you to all the guests, to all the people who watch. Someone's watching my live right now who watches frequently on the actual Daybreak series. So big thank you to all the viewers on both Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I posted on my Instagram a post. I posted a post on Instagram, which had my YouTube statistics. I got over 1,000 views and like minutes watched, and it's incredible. And it makes me so happy to know that it's a lot of work for this show, and it's nice to know that my work is being enjoyed by people, and being well received. Some videos haven't done so well, but we've never gotten more dislikes than likes. The very few things I think the most we've ever gotten in likes is probably 7, but again, I don't really, when I watch YouTube, I don't click like or dislike when I watch videos. I just watch the videos. So, but yeah. So enormous thank you to everyone who watches on whatever platform you watch it on. If you watch it live, like that's amazing because it's at 10 a.m. in the morning and you get up to watch it. That's so nice. It's usually my family who does that, but even still, that's really nice, and really kind, and it shows that I'm not doing this to no one, and it's not for the views, as I've said many times. But it's nice to know that at least someone's watching it and not no one. But yeah, I'm indebted to everyone who's worked on the show, and everyone who has contributed. To my parents for allowing me to have to just take over this section of the house and just have my own studio. It's amazing. I've been watching a lot of shows that make me feel really philosophical lately. So if I'm in the mood to just like ramble on about like I'm so happy and everything, it's because of that. Oh my god, my freaking hair! It's really like, come on. I don't understand. I just fixed it. Whatever. You can't fix everything. But yeah. So thank you so much for watching Daybreak. If you've watched Daybreak, thank you so much for watching Daybreak Stories. If you've seen Daybreak Stories. There's not yet been a host interviews, but if there is one and you watch it, thank you if you're watching this in the future. Which actually, food for your thought, I'll end it with this. In 3 seconds, you'll be living in the future. Isn't that, like, we always think about the future being this, like, 2050 and flying cars and everything. Like, the future's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to live in the future. And, like, well, people I know won't be around in the future. Every 3 seconds, every 1 second is a new future. You're living life. So don't focus on what your future's going to look like. Focus on what your present's like, because your present will soon become your past. And you don't want to miss your present if you're looking into the future. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's late. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will catch you next time on Daybreak. Goodbye.